Alright, let's wait for everyone to come in. Let's go over here. Yeah, I made a video. Hey, you're good. Yeah, we talked about this last week about what metals. We briefly touched about it a few times in certain shows. And I want to make sure that we can get together and just kind of spend some time talking about this. See where you guys are, what you guys are doing, what your plans are, what you guys have set aside. So come on in, we'll give it another moment and we'll talk about basically everyone's plans. What you guys have set aside, what you guys know, what things are going on. This is what I have available for the moment. Everything else is away, so I can't really dive into and make it too, I know when all people, when they share the information and they talk about the topic, they bring out a lot of stuff like their monster boxes and different coins and rounds and numismatics and whatnot, but you gotta be careful and put things away. So we're going to talk about this tonight. And I have some notes. I actually spent a week combing through articles, and I actually have a video coming out at 7:30 tonight about the FDIC meeting that was out in November of last year, I believe. Very informative. It was 3.5 hours long, that video. So I think what I'll do is I'll just get started now. And as you guys come in, I will chat with you guys after. But with the notes, whew, lots of good information. A lot of people who've been in the trenches for 30 plus years, some 4 years. Been there, seen crashes, and have a lot of stories to tell. So you have a lot of good, reputable people put out a lot of good information. So it's out there. It's just a matter of finding it. But once you do find it, learn from these people, as I have. But in today's video, I want to talk about precious metals and the value that it offers and the historical significance of them. This video is for information and entertainment purposes only. I gotta say that just to cover the channel. And it's not financial advice, just good information that I found and I want to pass along to you guys. So like I said, recently we've talked about banks being at risk for bail-ins, which have been sanctioned by the Dodd-Frank Act of 2010, which said no more bailouts. And that act puts the onus on we, the depositors, to step in and bail out the, quote, too big to fail banks with our money. But the reality is, when we deposit money into the banks, that money in our accounts is not ours while it sits in the bank. While we make a deposit into the bank legally, you are loaning your money to the bank. And back in 1995, the government enacted Regulation D. That was another thing that I wasn't aware of, which legalized sub-accounts that are in the bank's name and then use that as collateral for loans. Now, according to the Office of the Comptroller of Currency, that's the thing, this enables the banks to reduce their reserves, the money that they have on hand, and to use your money, our money, to gamble with, and you don't even realize it because it's invisible. Now, this legally classifies us as depositors as unsecured creditors. So in the bank's eyes, we are unsecured creditors. And legally, anyone who carries a balance of more than $250,000 in one account can have their money taken from the account without permission to keep the bank afloat if needed. Now, central banks are continuing to raise interest rates to fight the inflation that they themselves cause by their never-ending fiat printing. Now, why have banks and governments around the world been buying up record amounts of gold? And that's what I want to talk about tonight. Gold is money. Gold always has and will continue to hold its value. Gold, silver, and other precious metals hold value versus printed paper fiat. Now, confidence is the only thing propping up our money. As the central banks raise the interest rates, the system is falling apart. So remember the Dodd-Frank Act and Regulation D, which allow the banks to sweep those funds underneath. And then just a few years later, in 1999, they allowed the merger of risk-taking trading banks with deposit-taking banks, and now Wall Street has full access to your deposits. Now, this is a crisis of confidence. The same thing happened back in 2008, remember? Our confidence in the banks is what keeps the cycle going. Now, sometime in 2020, Regulation D was suspended to allow consumers to be able to make more frequent withdrawals because of the central bankers don't want you to suspect anything. Now, I have a couple of videos that I have coming out 7:30 p.m. tonight that have people talking from the FDIC meeting about just that. Now, for now, let's keep going. Based on the rabbit holes I filled down researching for this video, a couple of articles and then some, I found that they, and take this with a grain of salt, that what could possibly cause the banks to fail is what may be coming up in this June of this year, which is the transition from LIBOR, the interest rate bank benchmark that was created back in the 1980s and is in every single contract. LIBOR is London Interbank Offer Rate, which was rampant with corruption and manipulation, which is why they are now moving away from that and into this thing called SOFR. It's a new system here in the US, basically the same thing, just different name. Now, LIBOR was a system, a small group of banks that would get together, bail out one another, but create their own rates. Now, the only reason why the banks are moving away from this LIBOR is because supposedly it was leaked, and now they're changing the name, but it's going to be the same game. Now, these articles that I read are speculating the upcoming failure of this information. Now, supposedly, there is currently $610 trillion in notional value contracts that still have no transition. They want to transition by June 30th of this year. And when they tested it back in October of 2019 with just $80 trillion in contracts, it was a complete failure. They postponed it until 2022, and then they postponed it again till June of this year, 23. Now, when they're forced to do this now, because everyone knows that the system is a lie and a fraud, and they have to do something publicly. Now, when you know that you're at the end of a financial cycle, and you're going to declare bankruptcy, you got a clean slate is at the end of the tunnel, what would you do if you've been exposed of 40 years of fraud? Well, as banks, they're going to rack up credit cards and credit lines and loans and whatever else they can get their hands on. Maybe even your checking and savings, maybe? Now, the Frank-Dodd Act sure did pave the way for the banks to quickly and easily cover their assets, didn't they? Now, this only lasted as long as it did until the next system is in place, which is looking like June of this year. Now, there's another thing I read about, and this is involving banks, which is eminent domain, and this ties in with the bail-in. Now, eminent domain says that whatever that is taken must be replaced with fair market value. Now, which with the banks would be replaced with a share of a failing institution. The banks know this, and the average person doesn't. Like I said before, I didn't know any of this. Did you guys? Now, in the FDIC video, the meeting that they had, which lasted over 3 hours, they talked about this and said that this would happen over the weekend. Which, when the last time they tested it and it failed, it happened over the weekend. So when they talk about doing the changeover, they know everyone's going to be bailed in, the banks. We've printed how many trillions of dollars? We're up to what, 31, 32 now? And we've hit the debt ceiling many times, and now they're looking to extend the debt ceiling to where it's just no ceiling at all. And we've been having problems with liquidity in all the markets, including the US Treasury. Now, when the Federal Reserve, which was neither federal or a reserve, was created back in 1913, as well as the IRS the same year, a very expensive experiment was created at our expense. Now, another experiment at the cost of depositors was back in 2016 in India. Now, I forgot about this, but when the government demonetized 85% of their money. Hey, Carla. Now, people scrambling to cash in their money before it was worthless, but they're limited to how much was able to convert. And they did this on purpose. Now, the beauty of the gold standard before the Fed showed up in 1913 was up to, if you didn't like what the government was doing, you could walk into a bank with your notes and walk out with this, gold. You could walk in there with paper and walk out with gold coins, but real tangible gold. Now, the government didn't like that. Oh, nice, you're starting seeds, beautiful. Yeah, if we're gonna do peppers, start those now. Now, let's see here. A lot of people didn't know this. I didn't know that. It's very sneaky how they did this. Now, that would create restrictions around what the government could do. The government didn't like that type of accountability, naturally. So the gold standard created restrictions around what the government could do, so that's where the fiat currency came in. And that's what we have today. Ah, pepper's nice. Now, how's it looking today, especially with confidence? We might be on the same page with the sentiment. Now, this is by all means no coincidence. Nothing is tangible, nothing is meant to last forever, especially as what they have created. Now, talk about kicking a can down the road, especially since 2008. Now, remember, this money is based on government ability to consistently create more debt. They don't ever intend to pay that debt back because they would pull that. Why would they want to pull that inflated money out of the system? They need that in there. Now, that's why the gold was taken away, to remove the restrictions on the government. The government could still convert fiat into gold, but you and I could not. Exactly. Now, fast forward to 1971, when Nixon took us off the gold standard fully, meaning that gold was fully out of play, including with the government. Now, that gave full control of inflation to the central banks that are private. Now, remember, the Federal Reserve is neither federal or a reserve. Fast forward to today, where the Fed now has trillions on their books, and their only tools that they have are printing money and 0% interest rates, which were their only options to regulate the rate and speed of inflation. Now, what's happening now is all these debt bubbles are starting to pop around the world, and all they have left is credibility with the general public. Now, as you guys know and aware of, look at Saudi Arabia looking to accept other currencies for oil, which they already started. They got the BRICS nations, that's Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. And now in Argentina and Brazil are in talks to create their own currency when it comes to ag. I just read that in the Epoch Times. Now, with all of this information, I ask you, what's your plan? And a lot of people are waking up, which is great. I'm seeing a lot more people going into coin shops, a lot more people buying online, because I'm seeing out of stock, or email me when back in stock with several websites like AppMex and SD Bullion and others. Now, with the supply chain shortage issues, food plants being destroyed, egg factories being burned down, our government creating the food compass. Remember, it used to be a food pyramid, now it's the compass, which has frosted mini wheats being promoted as healthy. Good girl, you got a good few coins, good, keep going, especially while it's low, but that's just me. People are waking up and looking for solutions, and honestly, for the most part, the way things are going right now, I feel like we're on our own. Now, don't get me wrong, I know there are a few people fighting the good fight and in many different sectors, but looking at the big picture, we have to take care of ourselves and really be prepared. So let's work together and help out whoever we can. I've been doing this more so now because I want to see us, we the people, stand up to these entitled losers and remind them that we outnumber them and that we are stronger together. And when this potato in charge says that, oh, he's created these jobs, he created nothing. These politicians didn't build anything. They didn't grow anything. They didn't move anything. They didn't ship anything. They don't truck anything. You did that. We did that. And in that FDIC meeting, they laughed. They left at us knowing that we are so in the dark. And that we the ones have faith in the banks and that they don't. And again, I have those videos coming out at 7:30. Now, I would just remind you guys that this is not financial advice. This is information that I found, but it's very important. Now, I would definitely say be the bank. I've heard that mentioned a couple times in channels, and I thought that was great advice. Be the bank. When it comes to other countries building up their gold reserves, such as Russia, now being ranked number 5 in the world with over 2,300 tons, I believe, of gold, and Brazil purchasing over 40 tons of gold just less than 2 years ago. Now, while the spot prices are still artificially low, hope you're okay with the toxic air blowing from Ohio. I know, it's atrocious what is going on with that, with the train situation over there. From what I've read, the rail lines have said that was an issue that they knew was going to happen, that they were trying to do something about it for some time now. So yeah, nothing that I've seen in the news or anything that I've noticed, but as always, wait and see, right? So yes, be the bank. And while swap prices are, like I said, artificially low, and most people are clueless about the value of the dollar, keep stacking. Put a little away, whatever. Every little bit will count. Have a goal and just keep hitting those goals and then changing them. And like anything else in life, goals take discipline. But to be your own bank, you can do that. And like politicians, gold is dense. Gold is one of those most densest metals on the planet. Well, it's twice as dense as silver. So depending on how you store things, it feels good in the hands. It gives you that little better sleep at night, knowing that you have something to work with. So, like I said before, gold, silver, and other precious metals all have their place. Silver fluctuates more than gold, but each holds their own value, and precious metals have been valued and monetarily used for over 6,000 years. And there's a reason countries stack metals. And as the saying goes, what the big guys are doing, so should you. If countries are cutting back on grains, put back your own. If countries are putting back reserves of fill in the blank, put back your own. And if countries are putting back gold and other precious metals, put back your own. Now, based on your situation, educate yourself, make a plan, and make it manageable. Protect your portfolio and protect your family. Build your reserves, like I'm doing a little bit at a time. Get your health in order. That's a big thing right there. Get your house in order. Stay on top of what's happening, and most of all, be happy and productive. Get right with God or whoever you pray to. And when you have balance in your life, you win. And these monsters whose thing is they think they know what's best for you, want you distracted, want you unhealthy. Like I said, think about the food compass. Mini wheats, they say now is healthier than lean meats. So don't be unhealthy, don't be distracted, find balance. And thanks for hanging out and watching these videos and helping out one another. And I gotta tell you, I've seen the emails coming in with EMPShield. I am so happy that more of you guys are looking into protecting yourselves, your home, your cars, your houses with EMPShield. It's such an affordable, incredible way to protect your freezers that are full of food and keep the lights on or the heat on in the wintertime. Keep your car running. For God forbid anything were to happen with another balloon that may, God forbid, something may be attached to it, you can make that one last run to the store or to the bank or to the pharmacy and get whatever it is that you guys need to protect yourselves. It's an American-made company. It's veteran-owned right there in Kansas, and I've been with them for years now, and I am just still to this day excited, and more so now, to be helping out people, get them informed about EMPShield. So that's a great sponsor to support. Tallow Dream Cream, another great company, dropped 3 new products today. So check out Tallow Dream Cream for natural skincare, and EMPShield. That's a great company. Like I said, American owned, veteran owned. And if you use coupon code TalkwithTiffany, you'll save $50. So definitely check them out. Great information, great companies. good information right now. So like I said, if you guys have any ideas or ideas of what it is you guys have, if you want to share any input, definitely do so. So this is, right here, these are gold backs. This is real gold. I've shown these a couple times so far. This is spendable gold. Now this is spendable in Utah, Nevada, Wyoming, New Hampshire, and there are a couple more states. I think it was one of the Dakotas that is looking to get online. This is real gold. Each single one is worth $4. This is a $5. So here's 20 bucks. The biggest one I have is 25, and again, it gets a little pricey over time, but each one does build up, and it means a lot. Again, when it comes to peace of mind and investing, you can walk into a store in New Hampshire. I actually did this one time. I actually bought my family lunch. It was 20 bucks. I used gold backs, and it was fun. And if you get change, you get it back in fiat. Yeah, there are states that accept them. In New Hampshire, for example, there are over 200 companies that accept gold backs. So you can walk in, and I think there's like a dentist and a doctor, some delis, some craft stores. It's pretty cool, actually. So services are taking them. You can buy tangible things with these things. There's a thin lacquer finish on the outside of this, so it's protected so you're not actually touching the gold. But what you do is, if you want to break these down, you can melt them down, and you get a bead of gold. Now the 25er, this is 1/40th of a troy ounce of 24 karat gold. And there are security features on here. There are security numbers on here. Each one identically, I'm identifying each one uniquely as their own. These are printed just like money, tens of millions of dollars, bless you. Just like our money, same thing on the back. So there are several security features just on these alone. But again, rounds, coins, pre-33, numismatics. There's so many options when it comes to gold, silver, and other metals. I would definitely say gold, silver for sure. Let's see what else. There are other precious metals. Some people could do platinum, some people could do palladium. Again, it's a personal preference, what you think you're going to get out of it. There are different types of stackers. There are the ones that flip them, buy them, wait for the price to rise, and then they go ahead and sell them off. There are the prepper type, which is the camp I'm in. Basically hold it until you absolutely need to do something with them, but you have some things, just like treat it like an insurance policy. Only use it when you absolutely need to. That's how I look at it. And then there's the who's gonna probably basically hold them until they hand them off to their kids maybe, and then their grandkids. So this one's lighter, this one's heavier. And they also have silverbacks. Again, because of the premium on these things, I would just stick with gold, but that's me. But again, there's so many options out there. You get 64 and older quarters and half dollars and dimes like the Rosies. There's a lot of options out there. So do your research, find those reputable places, coin places, ask good questions, and just slowly start building up from there. I've also the dork that collects historical value. Exactly. Yeah, there are some beautiful historical coins out there for sure. Absolutely. The not the Mercury dime, but the one with the wings. Basically, it was for freedom of speech and thought back in the back in the 1920s. In fact, come here. A fun thing about the goldbacks is my daughter has her own wallet, and what are some things that I do, like when I say, hey, can you do a chore or something?
She gives me a gold bag. Or when I do a big project.
Yeah, exactly. High five.
Like painting a room or staining some wood.
Yeah, exactly. So what we'll do is we'll work on a project, and I'll say, hey, can you help me with fill in the blank kind of project or chore around the house? And then what I'll do is, depending on the value, let me see, I think I have some singles left in here.
Yeah.
She's been burning through my singles. These are worth $4. Hey, Rob. So what I'll do is, if she gets a chore done, I'll give her a single.
Yeah.
Which is worth $4.
Hi, Robert.
So that's 1/1000. So 1,000 of these is 1 troy ounce. And let's see, the 10 is
Also, the higher the number, the more thick it is. And you can hear it and also feel it.
exactly. So 100 of these 10s will give you a troy ounce. So there are options here.
Also, if you were to get,
What do you got?
see the 25?
Yes.
See the numbers that says it equals about
140.
Yeah, it takes about 25 to equal one gold coin that you earn.
1 troy ounce, exactly.
And that 1 troy ounce equals 1 coin that you earn if you were to get, say, 40 25s.
Yep. So there you go. There's many fun ways to not only stack, but invest and teach your kids how to invest and get them involved.
Yeah. Also, with crypto, buy low and sell it high.
Yeah, that's something we really stayed away from we've gotten into it like a while ago, but then it was like, all right, I think this was the way to go. This is a much better investment, especially right now while prices are still artificially low. So while they're low, definitely do some investing. Do you think Connecticut will ever have gold backs? You know what's funny? I'm actually in the process of researching and trying to work with some reps in the next meeting to bring that up. That would be amazing if we can get in on that. Absolutely, I would love that. Get some pretty artwork on here. Yeah, and like I said, other people in different states definitely do that. I mean, we did it a long time ago. In fact, it's in their constitution that you can accept gold and I think precious metals for debt. And I think the fine print is you cannot force someone to do it. The wording is different, but basically it's along the lines of it's an option. So you can throw it out there and say, hey, would you be willing to do this? In fact, there are stories of contractors accepting gold and silver for payment for certain jobs. So it's not just here and there, it's more widespread with people using this as an option to hedge your bets against a failing dollar that's being printed into oblivion. So these are good options to have. There is a premium on this, but again, they're out there. And while, again, they're artificially low prices, get your hands on some gold and silver and hedge your bets, protect your portfolio and your family. And when the prices do go up, you can have more options in the future. So definitely put aside food. Supplies, gold backs are more portable than grams, right? Absolutely. Yes, that is a great point. The great thing about these that I liked very early on from goldbacks.com, and there's a lot more information on that website, but APMEX sells them and local coin shops do as well. The great thing about this is, for example, instead of holding a small gram, like this right here is worth $100. Actually, I'm sorry, hold this one right here. The 25 is worth $100 because right now each one of these is worth $4. Instead of holding a few grams that you could, or even flakes of gold that you can drop and lose, this is, you lay it flat in your wallet, put it in here, and you're good to go. If you drop it like that, I know where it is, I can see it. If I drop a gram or even a flake of gold, I'm panicking. What about eBay? Are they reputable? That's a good question.
It's sort of like auctioning, but also buying.
Exactly. Yep, exactly. eBay, I think they've gotten pretty good with verifying people. I've been down there a handful of times for other items, but not that. I think there's insurance involved with eBay. You can go on the website and verify, or even email them directly, and they're pretty good. And especially nowadays with bigger companies being insured, it's always a good option. But I would definitely go to a coin shop where you can actually hold it and see it and actually ask them, because they're not going to buy anything that they can't sell, because they're in the business of staying in business and they want you coming back. Especially in this economy, they don't want to lose business. So go to a coin shop, I would definitely say. See it, hold it, ask them questions, learn more about it. And then get yourself a wallet, because you do not want to fold these things in half. I'd rather support a local business. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Also, for gold backs, you want them to be flat, but if you were to make a fold them or something like that, it'll ruin it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why the wallets are
So
more durable.
you would take your wallet And I actually bought this, I think I got it on Etsy. But you drop it in just like that, and then you're good to go. So there's your wallet. That's how you store them, nice and flat. And again, it's spendable gold. This is another option, not losing your grams or your flakes of gold. Just in case they can't find a local vendor, look at other options. Absolutely, always support your neighbors when you can. Absolutely. Seeds, food, knowledge if you can, like I said before, learn a skill. I've picked up wood carving last year, and I've made spoons, a handle for the 1890s iron. I stained it, and it came out great. So keep learning the skills. Set aside food, Mylar bags, dry goods in there. Put what's in there on the outside and the date when you bag it, and then just rotate. That way you know what you have and keep it protected. There are many ways. You can put traps around your house or inside. Metal containers are best. I want to learn carpentry. Yes, it's so good. Exactly. More skills, medical skills. Something great to have. Learn the basics. If you have prescriptions, try to get a 90 days worth, and then just rotate through that. That's a great way to keep yourself protected. Skills, supplies. Supplies are one thing, but skills. Learn to fix things. Buy extra nails, screws, hand tools, hand crank screws and hammers. Get extra hammers. Get extra wood, and then just apply it. Look online. Watch plenty of videos. Learn how to carve. I've made. Let me see if I can get my spoon. I have it nearby. There it is. Last year I showed you guys this. I carved a spoon.
And you made a fork as well.
Yep.
Not even a knife.
Yep.
All on wood.
Yep. So that is what we did last year. And my daughter made a spatule.
Perfect for cooking beans for tacos. It's spicy.
We've used this so many times now. It's fun. You can see that.
Yeah.
So again, skills are important. Yep.
Yeah, well, lovingly for the baking.
Yeah. So again, there are places like Sturbridge Village and in Massachusetts, Strawberry Bank in New Hampshire, where you can learn skills. You can actually get your kids to take classes where they learn how to carve. They learn how to carve wood and work with those hand tools. So there are options all across the country to get hands-on skills and build that confidence, so when something happens in the future, not only can you make something, but you can make repairs. Medical skills, hands-on skills, camping, cooking outside. We've had videos on here where we've done that. So again, lots of fun options and things you can do. And you can treat it like a lifestyle. Prepping is something where you can get rid of the stigma. I mean, think about just a couple generations ago, what our great-grandparents did. They had root cellars, they had gardens, they canned. Look at World War II in England. A lot of people were forced to garden and can and preserve and really work with what they had. I have a gardening kit where if there's a hole in a sock or you need to make a patch somewhere, you can do that. So there are options and ways to fix things and mend things. Get creative. Think about those hypothetical situations. Can I get my computer cord?
Yep.
Thanks. So think about day to day what you do. When you get up, you brush your teeth, get extra toothbrushes, get extra toothpaste, and floss.
Flossers.
Yep. Health is very important. So
Stick.
So if anything were to happen in the future and you couldn't get to a dentist, you have the means to take care of your teeth and not have to worry about getting a cavity or gingivitis or whatever else may be an irritant. Get on your health. So not only invest in tangibles like right here, this, but get extra supplies and get extra means to have great barterability, get trading going on. Think about vices. This is something I read a while ago. I think during the Chechens, when this guy was talking about surviving those attacks. Alcohol. Things were actually going to plug it over there. Here, I'll show you. Nips, like those little bottles. Those are going to be huge. People who smoke, people who drink. You're going to be able to make some great trades because they're going to be in trouble in a bad way because they're stuck in that vice. So get your health in order now. If you have any habits, try to kick them now while times are, you know, stable. And then just think about the future. Think about what your needs are going to be. And if you have children, what those needs are going to be. Women, think about all of that as well. Men, whatever you got to take care of yourself. Your hygiene, soap, all these little basics. Basic things like floss, toothbrushes, toothpaste.
Razors.
Yep, razors. Again, that was something that was in 1984. Razors were very popular, especially for trade. So just think about the basics, especially if you go to a big box store like Costco or BJ's.
No,
Yeah. Yeah.
Painkillers.
Yep. Painkillers, ibuprofen, get those bottles and then just rotate through them.
And you get the little ones for trading.
Yeah, you can get the little ones for trading. Good point, E.
And the big ones are for big trades.
Yeah. So soap making, yes, that's something that we're going to get into for the website. I'm excited to try that. But again, the skills, put back these things. Costco, BJ's, big box stores, Sam's Club, buy those big items now and then just put them away and rotate. Like soap, get those big cases of soap. Dry food, pasta, beans, rice, get the Mylar bags, put them in there with the oxygen absorber, seal them up, write what is in the outside, date it, and then throw it back and then just rotate. So again, while things are available, think about the food chain supply issues, and then now more and more about food shortages. Look at Africa, look at the Middle East, and look at what's not being exported. Oh yes, send me some soap recipes. I'd love that. So again, this is how we can help out one another. Put whatever you can in the comment section, and that's how we get that out there. So the basics: investing in yourself, your health, investing in tangibles, gold, silver, precious metals, supplies, and skills. They all count. Make a plan, like we talked about earlier with the show notes, and do that. So, unless you guys have anything else to put in here, I'll let you guys go. And other sources. Yeah, thank you. Again, comment section, always greatly appreciated. You guys have great comments. I love it. Even after the fact. You always go back and just work through there. So with that being said, I'm going to work on other orders and other projects. It's been a very, very, very productive Monday.
Check out TalkwithTiffany.com.
Check out TalkwithTiffany.com and EMPShield.com. Use coupon code TalkwithTiffany and you'll save $50. Carla, Home Depot has workshops for various topics. Yeah! See, that's what we're talking about. If you guys have the know-how and experience and the wisdom, drop it down, because we don't have all the answers. Gotta make dinner, but I can put some stuff in the comments later. Absolutely. All right. So we'll talk to y'all later. We'll do this again next Monday. And if you want to go live, I think we'll start doing that again. That's always been fun. So we'll do that. You guys be safe and well. And we'll talk to y'all later. Sound good?
Bye.
Nice. Bye, guys.